Hello children, how are you all? I hope you are all doing good. Children, we finished with the concept of nervous system last time in control and coordination chapter. Let's just go for a recap. We studied about a small kind of definition or small explanation of the endocrine and the nervous system. Then we studied about the structure of a neuron. We studied entire parts of the neuron which is associated with the structure. We studied its function as well. We studied about synapse. Then we also studied about the neuron, the types of neurons, that is sensory, motor neuron and interneuron or association neuron. Then we studied about the nervous system, which is the CNS, PNS and ANS. We went into the detail about that, right? Now the next concept that comes into picture is the human brain. Okay, pay attention properly to this explanation. The human brain has three parts. One is forebrain, second is midbrain, and the third one is hindbrain. I repeat, forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. When I talk about the forebrain, it is divided into further three parts. The first one is cerebrum, the second one is thalamus, the third one is hypothalamus. Okay, the first one is cerebrum, second one is thalamus, third one is hypothalamus. When I talk about the midbrain, midbrain is the one that connects the forebrain and the hindbrain together. The hindbrain, it doesn't have any other different types. Now when I talk about the hindbrain has another three parts. The first part is known as the cerebellum. The second part is known as the pons, P-O-N-S, pons. And the third one is known as the medulla oblongata. Okay, first one is cerebellum, second one is pons, and the third one is medulla oblongata. Okay, now don't get confused between cerebrum, which is present in the forebrain, and cerebellum, which is present in the hindbrain. So these are the parts which are associated with the human brain. Let's go into the detail about all the three. The first one, that is the forebrain, which has three parts. The first one, that is known as cerebrum. Now cerebrum, which is there, it is the largest part of the brain. It is the complex and the largest part of the brain, cerebrum. Second, when I talk about, is the thalamus. It is present in the center of the forebrain. Where is it present? At the center of the forebrain. And all the sensory information which are collected to the cerebrum is that meaning all the sensory information that reaches to the cerebrum are carried by whom? By the thalamus. Clear? Now next one is what? Meaning through the thalamus it is reaching to the cerebrum. Okay. The next one is what? It is the third one. The first one was cerebrum, the second one was thalamus, and the next one is hypothalamus. It is the smallest part of the brain, or it is the smallest part of the forebrain, you can say. And what does it do? It helps in to control the body temperature, then thirst, hunger, etc. These are the function of the hypothalamus. Now when I talk about the midbrain, the second part of the brain, that is midbrain, as I told you, it basically connects the forebrain as well as the hindbrain. And what does it do? It controls the reflexes involving the eyes and the ears. Okay, the eyes and the ears movement is controlled by the midbrain. The third one, which is known as the hindbrain. Now when I talk about the hindbrain, it is again divided into three parts. The first part is known as what? It is cerebellum. Yes. Second is pons. The third one is medulla oblongata. Now when I talk about cerebellum, now cerebellum is present at the back of the brain. Okay, it's hindbrain. It is present at the back of the brain. Next, what does it do? It controls and coordinates the muscular body movements, and also it helps to control and coordinate the posture of the body, meaning the body posture. Okay, the second one is what? The pons. Now pons is located just above the medulla oblongata. It is located above the medulla oblongata. Now what does the pons do? It acts as a bridge actually. It acts as a bridge which from where the sensory and the motor neuron is connected to the human brain, the brain as well as the spinal cord. Clear? So it acts as a bridge. Now pons is the main center for control or coordination of the respiration as well. Now medulla oblongata, which is the last part of the hindbrain, it controls and coordinates the movements of swallowing, then breathing, etc. Now this was all about the coordination in animals. Now let's learn about the coordination in plants. How does it happen? Now as animals have a nervous system, the plants do not have a nervous system as that of an animal, or it doesn't have a nervous system, this organ system which is nervous system. Now, how do they control and coordinate them? They respond well to the stimulus. Now, when I say stimulus, it is the external body, or you can say the environmental stimulus that you can talk about. Okay. Now, it responds to the external stimulus. How? For like the control and the coordination is been regulated by their plant hormones as well. And these plant hormones are also known as phytohormones. What is it known as? Phytohormones. Clear? Now there are 5 different phytohormones totally. The first one is auxin. The second one is gibberellins. I repeat, the first one is auxin, the second one is gibberellins, the third one is cytokinins, the fourth one is abscisic acid, and the fifth one is ethylene. I repeat all the 5. The first one is auxin, the second one is gibberellins, the third one is cytokinins, the fourth one is abscisic acid, and the fifth one is ethylene. Okay. These are the 5 different phytohormones which play an important role in the growth and development of the plant. Okay, so from this plant hormones, the growth and development is regulated in the plant. The first one when I talk about is the auxin. Now, auxin helps in the development, or you can say growth and development for the root tip and the shoot tip as well of the plant. Okay, it helps in the growth of the root and the shoot tip of the plant. The second one when I talk about is gibberellins. It plays an important role in stem elongation. Gibberellins play an important role in stem elongation. The third one when I say is cytokinin. Now cytokinin, it helps to promote the cell division, or it promotes the cell division that you can say. The fourth one is known as abscisic acid. Abscisic acid, it inhibits the growth of the plant or wilting of the leaves that you can say, falling of the leaves, right? And next one is what the last one is known as ethylene. Now ethylene helps, it promotes in fruit ripening. So all these 5 phytohormones which help in the growth and development of the plant is clear to you. I repeat, auxin, what does it do? It helps in the growth of the root and the shoot tip. Second, gibberellins, it helps to promote the stem elongation or help to grow the stem properly. Next, you can say what? The third one, that is the cytokinins. It promotes the cell division. Fourth is known as abscisic acid, which inhibit the growth of the plant or wilting of the leaves that you can say. And the fifth one is ethylene, that promotes the fruit ripening. Okay, so I hope you understood the concept of coordination in plants with related to the 5 phytohormones that we have studied and the human brain today. Okay, all the concepts should be is clear to you. I hope that, and we will stop here and we will begin with the next session in the next class. Thank you so much.